Welcome to the only place where real, raw, and vulnerable conversations happen with IFBB bikini pros to give you an inside look at their struggles, strategies, mindset, passions, and all of life beyond the stage. This podcast is made to inspire, motivate, and remind competitors and the average gym goer that even the most extreme lifestyles and elite athletes have their ups and downs. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I'm your host, Celeste Turk, and now it's time for the Confessions of a Bikini Pro podcast. Hey everybody, today's guest is an immigrant from El Salvador who learned how to speak English on her own within 3 months, got a college degree, and became a proud American citizen. She is a soon-to-be gym owner who went pro at North Americans in 2019 when she placed first in bikini class H and in Masters over 35 after a lot of effort and commitment to getting that pro card. This competitor started her own suit design company after realizing the relaxing effect it has on her mind and body as a mom, competitor, and business owner. So welcome to the show, Kim Sermeno. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you.
Of course. I'm so happy you're here. I have a lot I want to get into with you because I have a feeling your perspective and your journey is interesting, and it's going to be really cool to hear it from you. So before we get into everything, I love to ask if you have a ritual or something you do or maybe think about right before your heel hits the stage.
No, I always believe in God, and then the only thing I always do is I just spread a little bit, and I just keep going.
Awesome. I love it. So I've been following you for a while now, and I'm glad that you're on this show. And I want to start off just by having you walk us through what got you into competing and just fitness in general, like this whole journey you've been on to getting your pro card.
Yeah. So what got me into was, ever since I was a child, I was an athlete. I did when I was in school. I was a track and field runner. I was a football player, and I was what is the other one? Softball player. And I always was really fit. But when coming to the United States, so I couldn't do all that stuff that I was able to do in my country. So I decided to change it up my sports. And I was running outside, and then someone told me about the gym, and I'm like, for me, what is a gym? What is that stuff? What am I gonna do in there? So, wow. And then, I start watching videos and stuff like that, and then I start going to the gym, and then, being a runner, my body was different. I was skinny. I'm lean but skinny, not muscle. And then start going to the gym, I start lifting weights, so I start building muscle. And then, of course, I always love nutrition and stuff like that. And then I was eating like the right food and stuff like that. And I built muscle. And then someone asked me one day, "Do you compete?" I'm like, "No." "Oh, about what? What is that? Do you do competition like a bodybuilder?" "No, but that you're the second person who told me that." And then so I started Googling like, what is that? And then, oh, that sounds really cool. So, and I started doing it. And that's that was the way how I started competing.
Oh my gosh, that is so cool.
Yeah.
And you got your degree in nutrition, right?
I got my degree in nutrition last month. So
congrats.
I'm really happy. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. That's a huge accomplishment.
Yeah, it was one of my biggest accomplishments.
Oh, that's awesome. And before that, you said you had an interest in nutrition. You were already feeding your body well. You decided to start training at the gym, and someone told you should compete. So you decided to, and you prepped yourself for your first 2 shows, right?
Yes, it was like 2 small shows. Like, I don't know if you guys ever hear, it's called like a Lawrence Power. It's like a really small shows. Like, it's not, I don't know if she's still doing that. But I went to that show, and then I was, I won the category and I won the overall. And then I say, oh, I might go to another show, a bigger show. So I went to NPC, and then And I did my prep by myself, and then I say, oh, that's not easy. When I see a bunch, a lot of girls, everybody's in great shape, and then, going to one small show, and then jump to a big show, it's a completely different. So it's like, everybody's is very well prepared, especially in MPC,
Oh,
muscle context.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've only done muscle contest shows as of right now, and I love them, but obviously that's the only one I've done. And you're right, the competition, especially depending on what show you do, can be really high. And I love that about competing, because you really don't know what to expect, and it
Yeah.
becomes your own, you got to beat yourself, right?
Yeah, no, and then you never know, like, like how many competitors is gonna be over there, but talking in maso context, like there is a lot of competitors all the time, and that's why from the beginning I didn't know much about maso context, because I started, but I was doing a small show just to be more comfortable, and like my walking and my posing and all of that stuff, and then I think doing in small shows from the beginning is really good, because a lot of people, they very nervous. I don't really feel nervous when I'm competing or walking. I love it.
Really? You don't get
Yeah.
nerves?
No,
Oh my
no.
gosh, that's so funny. I'll be backstage like shaking, like, well, I'm like a leaf backstage because it's like freezing cold, And
Yeah.
then right before, I just get this like heat rush, and I get so like, I don't get nervous about like the stage itself. It's more so just like, I don't know, my body gets nervous.
And then yeah, no, it's I see a lot of girls. Why are you so changing? That one time,
Yep.
I think that was in a spectrum. I think it was like, which one is that? I think it was, I don't know which show I was doing, but it was in master context. But then it was so cold backstage, so cold. And
Hmm.
then so all the girls who was all over there together, and we found a blanket. I don't know who the blanket was. We took it, and we were like 6 girls, and like with the blanket all together. And then our coach was laughing because it was so cold. But I was
Yeah.
shaking because I was cold, not because I was nervous. But the other girls, they was very nervous. That's why they were shaking as well. So,
Uh-huh. Then your
but,
your feet end up looking like, you feel like you're looking like a deer, who
yeah.
just you can't walk or
Oh
anything.
my gosh.
Well,
Yeah.
that's so cool. A lot of people who come on here say like they still get really nervous, so it's cool that you don't get those nerves. And I'm curious if, that's changed, or maybe that's evolved since starting, or have you always been that way?
No, no. When I started, like I say, my couple, I think that was my first show. I was kind of a little bit nervous, but then I did the same show the second time, and I wasn't nervous. When I did MPC, because of course it was my first show, and I didn't know how everything was over there, so I was a little bit nervous. But then my second show, like it was just everything is just the same, and then
Yes.
I just loved it. And then maybe also when I was in my country, I was like a fashion show, like a doing modeling clothes ever since I was little.
Hmm.
And then maybe that helped me with my nerves and stuff like that, because
Yeah.
like being a model, like I'm modeling, walking, and with all that clothes, which is different. Modeling clothes or shoes is totally different than competing and do a posing for a bikini competitor. It's
Right.
nothing to do with, like, they both completely different.
Right, because in fashion modeling, you're like showcasing the outfits, but in
Yeah. And you
bodybuilding,
walk
it's your
and you're just
body.
walking like weird.
Yes, yeah, definitely different. But it
Yes.
could make sense with like the stage nerves. You're used to walking out on a stage and being seen. So I could totally see that. And is there anything like when you decided to get into competing, you didn't really know a ton about it? You said, a
No.
few people had mentioned it. So is there anything you wish you had known before maybe like your first NPC show?
Yeah, I think so like I say, like about the nutrition I was doing, I was doing by myself. And then for me, there is all my competitions that I do, I never, I don't know if your coach is different or mine is different, but I never eat fruit.
Oh yeah.
So
Mhm.
and then for me, like for me as a nutritionist, fruit is great for you, right?
Yeah.
So I never, like, for me, like, oh no, doing show, I'm gonna eat fruit, vegetables, and like I got a good result, but then my body wasn't looking really good because I keep eating fruit and fruit and fruit, and then I wish that by that time I knew about, like, hey, stop eating fruit because fruit is sugar. Now I know. Now I know. But by that time,
Right.
I think that was one of the things that I did wrong. I was, eating like too much fruit.
Yeah, it's interesting to hear your perspective on that because when you have a coach, they're telling you, at least I know the coach you have, I'm pretty sure he does meal plans, right?
Yeah, he does meal plans. He give you your food, and then basically he give you like exact the fruit, like the name, like the chicken for lunch. It says oatmeal for breakfast, and eggs, and he write it down exactly what you are going to eat.
Yep. And then it's like when you were prepping yourself, I'm sure that there wasn't like an exact structure like that.
Yes, it was different. It's just,
Hmm.
yeah, but
Like you had that nutritionist hat on, but not the like competitor
yeah,
diet hat.
it's a nutrition, like, in general, like nutrition is like, it's a lot of parts of nutrition. It can be like my is like more sport nutrition, and then my is more like a focus on a person who wanna gain muscle, like it's not
Hmm.
like a losing weight and stuff. I can do also that stuff, but sport nutrition is more like a building.
Yeah.
And then for my, it's like it's a different how, like, when we're competing, we are calories deficiency, right?
Hmm.
And then for me as a nutritionist, I will not give it to my client, which is, that's what I do, and then I cannot give it to my clients at calorie deficiency because I don't want to make my client sick. And then we're doing this because it's our sport. And then we know, for me as a nutritionist, I have a degree on it, and then I know for our body that's not good if we do it for a long period of time.
I love this perspective because you have your degree in nutrition
Yeah.
and you help people with this, and yet you're also a competitor. And I think some people have a hard time, like the people who study nutrition, I think sometimes have a hard time with the commitment to bodybuilding because maybe they give it a bad name or they don't think it's sustainable. So, what is your approach like in the improvement season compared to your preps?
So improvement season for me, like I say, as a nutritionist, I like to treat my body like the way, like my body were treasure, right?
Mm-hmm.
I like to eat a variety of food. I never eat red meat. I never done my whole life. I never eat like pork or beef or stuff like that, bacon and stuff like that, or processed food or canned food, nothing like that. I like to eat fresh and healthy. But I love eat fruit, vegetables, and nuts. So when I'm off season, if I wanted to eat, like, I don't really count calories. Well, honestly, I run a lot. I'm a runner ever since I was a little. So I
Mm-hmm.
feel like like burn so much calories, and it doesn't matter whatever I eat, I don't really gain that much weight. So I feel like when I'm like a off season, I don't do this strict diet that we have when we compete. I never.
Wow, that's so interesting. So, when it comes to making your food decisions, would you say you take more of like an intuitive eating approach?
So when I'm off season, I like to eat, one example, right? So if I don't really count calories because there is no point. I know, you know the amount of food you have to eat. If you put too much food in your plate, you're overeating. So
Mhm.
what I do is, like, I try to eat. I still eat in the same amount of the same food. I don't count calories, but I don't really like. For me, I don't really eat sweets.
Yeah.
This is my lifestyle. I don't really eat sweet because
Mhm.
I'm not a, like, that sweet person eating sweets.
Yeah.
But like I say, like, I I never open a can of beans and eat those beans. I'd rather get, the fresh bean and cook it in the house and have the whole pattern and eat like that. My point is that I don't really like to eat processed food.
Right.
I go for the more natural, and healthy. Or a lot of people say, oh, don't eat bread because bread is so bad for you. Like, I do not eat white bread because I know white bread is not really good. But you can eat like a wheat bread. You can eat all like a night grain bread and, those different bread that are healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Or like a flour, like a almond flour. Or I make my own, in a
Yeah.
healthy way.
I love
Yeah.
that. I like what you said earlier too. I just want to reemphasize it. You said you treat your body like a treasure, and I think that that is huge, and that goes a long way. When we view our bodies positively, we're naturally inspired to fuel our body better, move our body, take
Yes.
care of ourselves. It's when we don't appreciate our body or when we're super hypercritical of ourselves that then I think a lot of those negative self-loathing type of habits and behaviors are
Yeah.
more likely to manifest.
Yeah, but I also like I say, like I'm a human being, and like a lot of people, like I have a lot of this our lifestyle. We're bodybuilders, and then we have a lot of friends that they do the same stuff that we do, and sometimes they ask me, how you never like to eat sweets, and I say, I eat sweets sometimes. I'm not a robot. I sometimes craving for sweets. I eat sweet, but I eat with moderation. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
not every day. I can treat myself like, once a week. It's not gonna hurt you. But of course, I'm not gonna be eating breakfast, lunch and dinner like sugars. I don't do that.
Right. Right. Like you're
Yeah,
consciously fueling your body with what your body wants, what your body needs, and also what you know is going to help you to perform and function at a high level. And like you said, it's okay to be quote unquote human, and want to have other things as well. There's nothing wrong with.
yes, nothing wrong with that.
Right.
Yeah.
So in all your different preps, because you've done a lot of shows, like what would you say, maybe there hasn't been any difference, but what are some of the differences between the various preps you have done? Because we talked about your improvement season being not so much weighing and measuring and tracking every calorie, but how are your preps?
So my preps are like, I'm very, like, I go whatever, I have my coach, right? Whatever my coach says, like, like how they give you the, like, for example,
Mm-hmm.
2,000 calories from the beginning, then those 2,000 calories every 2 weeks. When you check with your coach, those calories coming down, 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 and your cardio going up, up, your exercise going up, up, calories going down, down, down. And then, so I just try to follow whatever the coach says. And then even when sometimes I starving, I'm cranky. I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to eat sweets. I wanted to eat carbs. But in the meantime, I say, hey, I'm doing this because I love it. Nobody pushed
Yeah.
me to do it. I'm doing because I like it. And then so I had to keep going. And then, and that's the always, I always say that. I always say that nobody is telling you, hey, I command you to do this. You do it
Right.
because you love it.
Why do
And
you love it?
yeah, right. So
Yeah.
and then I feel like I say, like I say before, I am a human being, and then I'm not a perfect. Sometimes I feel like I want to cheer when I have. Oh my god, I want to eat some fruit. Oh my god, I want to eat some like cookie. I want something sweet, or I want to. Can I put a little more peanut butter? Peanut butter is my weakness. I love peanut butter.
Mm-hmm.
But like I like to see changes, and what keep me going when I'm on prep is like seeing changes in my body every single day. You go to the, I don't need to weigh myself. I do every 2 weeks. I do only the day when we're gonna check with coach, because he always asks how much I weigh. Otherwise, I don't weigh myself, but I see myself in the mirror
Right.
and I see
Yeah.
difference, and I love to see changes in my body. I love to see all my like difference, and I like to compare pictures from maybe from a month, from a week, from a year, and then so compare pictures from show to show and see how I look. That's what That's what keep me going.
It's really rewarding when you see your own hard work and commitment pay off, like in short periods of time and in long periods of time. And I think that's something that bodybuilding brings us, is it's very rewarding both day to day as well as over multiple years.
Yes, I agree
So
with that.
how, like, when you're prepping for a show, what would you say is like your favorite meal that's usually on your plan?
Oh, that my favorite meal is breakfast.
Like oats and
Because I have my oats and then my egg white and a peanut butter. That's my
yep.
favorite. I can eat that. If a coach say eat that all day long, I will say yes. I can eat that all day long. It's
Hmm.
my favorite food.
I had
And
that
then, yeah.
Monday morning.
And then my coach, I never that I never like I even my last week, my last day of only the day of I think of the day of the competition. We don't do that for breakfast, but then I do that the whole prep. Never
Right.
change. Breakfast never change. So I do the same amount of food, the same for 12 weeks.
And
I
you
love
enjoy
it.
it.
Yes, I loved it so much.
Yeah, that's what it's about. And you've found a process that works for you. And someone else might have a process that works for them that's different. And the thing that matters is that it works for you. And I think that's like one of the best things that we can find. And I wanted to also just ask you about your favorite exercises. There was a question one time that someone sent in, which is, if you could only choose one exercise for the rest of your life, for your glutes and then for your hamstrings and for your shoulders, what exercise would you pick for each of those?
Okay, so you just one that has one part of my body.
One exercise for your glutes, one exercise for your hamstrings, and one for your shoulders.
Okay, for shoulders, I really like laterals,
Uh-huh.
and I love that. I can do that all day long.
Me
And
too.
then and then for my back, I like to pull downs with a pull-up machine.
Uh-huh.
And I can do that all day long.
Go
And
for it.
for my glutes, I'm not a really good person, like like that. The like they doing the what is it, the hip
Hip
thrust.
thrust, yeah.
I hate hip thrust,
Really?
but yeah, I do hate hip thrust. But you know what, I like it. I that's why I get my glutes all the time. I like to put 15 or 20 pounds ankle weights, and I like to do all the things with the ankle weight. You put your elbow, your kick back, your
Yes.
funky kick, like all that stuff. Like I love that. That's what I do like 3 times in the week for half an hour. So my glutes
Yes.
are on fire. So I can do that all the time. But I also I don't really squat that much. But yeah, but I don't really. A lot of people a lot of girls say hip thrust, hip thrust.
Yes, yes,
I
most
hate
girls
hip
do.
thrust. I hate them.
That's so funny. But you know what? Can never underestimate kickbacks and ankle weight workouts. Like, I think they haven't been given enough credit, honestly, because of things like hip thrusts and other compound lifts that people prioritize, which is all great. But I also find band work and ankle weight workouts
Yeah.
to be very
Yes.
effective.
Yes, I feel because I think like as for glutes, you don't have to go heavy like that. That's just my opinion, and then I know everybody have a different opinion. Like a lot of people, oh, you have to go heavy to when you're doing hip thrust or whatever, any kind of glutes exercise. And for me, I feel like you don't have to go heavy. You just need to do a lot of repetition, like to bring the blood to your muscle and start pumping the muscle and isolate the muscle to make the muscle grow. So
Yeah.
I feel like there's not much like when I do both because I try going really heavy, but I'm not sore when I'm doing really heavy. But when I do all that kind of exercise, when I use my bands, my ankle weights, I'm really sore the next day.
Me too. No,
So
there's
yeah,
multiple ways to grow our muscles. It's not just heavy lifting, right? Like
yes,
volume is good, time under tension is good, like you said, getting the blood to the muscle and
yeah,
training with intention and purpose.
exactly. Yes.
So, obviously, in the very beginning, I said it took you a lot of effort to get to the pro card. So, you went through a few national shows. What was some feedback you got from each of these national shows, and how did you like address it?
So I feel like my first national, okay, this is a long story right here.
Okay, I'm ready for it.
Going to a national shows. So when I qualified for a national shows, I got the overall and MPC, and then coach say, okay, let's try nationals. And so I went to nationals, and then my first national was the amateur Olympia. That was my first national, and I got first place.
I know. I saw that. I was like, that's amazing.
I know, and then that was my first national, and then so I asked for the feedback, and then the feedback they just told me to add like grow like overall muscle, like I get more bigger. So they never told me, okay, you're the, because I hear like my friends like, oh, you need to grow shoulder, or you glute too small, but they know in general like I was too skinny, so need to grow my muscle overall. Like, okay, so we give it another year. I think we give it after that, and so I went to. I think I did the first one I did in June. I think was the. Let me see. I think it was. I don't even remember, but what is it called? Like I think it was in Pittsburgh. The one I got my pro card.
Yeah, North American.
North America. So I did North America, and I got second place in my category.
That is amazing.
So then one of the feedbacks. And I did 4 national show. I got second, and I went to do the Team Universe. That was in last year, like by in July, I think, and it was in Vegas, I guess. And I didn't place. I didn't even was second call out. I was like a third call out.
Oh my gosh.
I was so disappointed. I was like, I can't believe it. I've been placing. You know, when you're placing, like so close to get your pro card, and you go to that show, and you was less behind, and then you feel so disappointed, and then you say, do I want to keep going? What is the point? Like for me, and by that moment, everything was going through my mind, and I was so disappointed, and I was crying, and I was not competing anymore. Like, this is not for me. And then so, my coach, like, it's not just about the coaches. We build that relationship, and then he very supportive, and all my teammates, and so I already have signed for another show. So that was for my North America when I got my pro card, like I think like was like maybe like 4 weeks later. So so when I went to the like I said, I was so disappointed and stuff like that. And then when I went to North America, I say, well, I'm gonna compete in 2 categories, because that was my first year turning in 35. So I can compete in 2 categories. I'm gonna do master, and I'm gonna do open. So, and then I got the 2 categories. I won the 2 categories, and I got my pro card.
Oh my gosh.
But like for me, I promise, like in that moment, like, when you go into a show and you place it, and then you go to another show and you're not even placed, not even second call out, my mind in that moment was like, I'm not gonna get my pro card. I just go to compete because I don't have any other choice. But but I keep going with my prep. I think I went to vacations in that time, and I went to Europe while I was on prep. And when I come back, I had 10 pounds up. And I was 11 days for my show.
Oh my god.
For my last show. But of course, that was water retention, because it's 14 hours of flight, and my food, I was missing food. There was no gyms in there. So basically, when I went to compete, my mind, it was like not really how to explain it. My mind was like, oh, I'm going to compete, but I know I'm not gonna win my pro card. So that was in my mind. It was so weird. And then, but at the same time, I was saying, I'm going to compete. I want to have a good time. I want to make friends, and I want to have fun. And that's what I did. But then, when you go to compete and then you go inside the room, I don't know if it happened to you. You go to your room and everybody's asking you, which category you are? Which category? Which group are you are? So, and then, I don't know, for me, that is a good sign. When someone asks me what group am I, it's because I'm looking good.
Yes.
and then like they are kind of like scared if I'm gonna be in that group. And then a lot of girls keep asking me that and say, damn, I think I'm not good.
Oh yeah.
and and then somehow my self-esteem came back and I say, I got this. And then coach say, you look better, you look amazing, like, and everybody, oh my god, you look amazing. And then when they they start calling the group, and then they line all the groups, all the girls from your group, and you're looking at the girls, and then when I looking at the girl, I say, I got this. I got this.
Wow.
and then I start feeling, oh my god, I'm looking really good. And stuff. When I went over there, like, everybody keep saying, oh, you're gonna win. The girls before going to stage, my group, they keep saying, you look amazing, you're gonna win your pro card. And then when something like that happen, you're looking good.
Right.
And then yeah, that was the way I got my pro card. So
Oh my
that was
gosh.
amazing. That was amazing. But yeah, trust me, to get my pro card, there was a lot of ups and downs, Um, like I say, I pushed really hard. I got an injury in my shoulder. And I keep going. I didn't stop because I didn't have any other choices. Because when you're a pro and you sign a contract, you cannot give up. Only if for me it was a good reason, and I say I can't compete because I got an injured. They will forgive me, and and keep I can compete, like, whenever I come back. But if you are a pro and you don't show up to the show, you can never compete anymore because you're signing a contract.
Right. You have to pay a
But
fee or
yeah,
something, right?
yeah.
Oh my gosh. So can we back up a second? Because I wanted to confirm. Did you say you went on vacation before doing North Americans and then
Yes, yes.
okay, so you came in, would you say then you brought like a fuller package and then you were worried that you weren't going to look how you needed to?
Okay, so I went to vacation, right? So I was like that vacation. My boyfriend and I, we always take a vacation, and by that time in June, July,
Yeah.
and we went in the end of July. So we was over there almost for 2 weeks and a half in Europe. And the Europe doesn't have gyms. The hotels are all pretty, but they don't really have gyms. They don't know what is an oatmeal is. They don't know what is asparagus. They give you zucchini instead of asparagus. and and so basically my food went bad. Having food for 3 weeks is not
Right.
good, especially when you travel a lot. My food was taking it out of the refrigerator, put it in the cooler, and going to another place. So when I had like 10 days over there and have no more food went bad. So I basically was eating, egg white, but I was also missing foods, like missing meals. And so when I came back to California, to United States, so I knew that my body was not looking, the same. So I weighed in the scale and I was 10 pounds up. So I gained 10 pounds in vacation.
Wow, yeah.
And
So
and then I was so sad and depressed, and then I told my coach, I don't think I can compete because I'm not looking good. And then he said, you can drop that. That's water. You can drop that in 3 days, like doing cardio and going to a sauna.
right.
I was killing myself doing cardio. I was doing 2 hours cardio. I was doing to the sauna for 30 minutes,
Wow.
going in the morning, going in the afternoon. But then, and I think that was 11 days for my show. So in less than a week, I was dropping down those 10 pounds.
Oh my gosh. And then by
Yeah.
the time you got to the show, you were bringing
A
the
fuller packet, a fuller and better packet, because
okay.
my body is kind of like it got to a when you compete.
Yes.
That was my fifth show in the year, was
That's a lot.
back to back. And then
Mm-hmm.
my body, when you're competing, I start competing ever since. And I compete in June, July, September, August, then November. Then I did the December, like my two last pro show. So that my body was like, okay, girl, you need a break.
Yeah. And then your
But
shoulder needed surgery
in my
and
shoulder, you need a surgery. So
oh my gosh. So this is crazy because you're such a great example of persistence and commitment to the dream because you had so many almosts, right? Like,
yeah,
oh, I'm so close. And then all of a sudden it was like a third call out and it was like, okay, well, let's just keep going. So do you
yeah.
feel like you brought different packages to each of those shows, or you just feel like it was about who showed up and the judges and all
Oh
that?
no, like when you're competing and don't get me wrong, but when you're competing in a pro show on like a national, not pro show but national show, everybody look amazing. Like
Mm-hmm.
there is no girl that looking like that. Everybody look amazing, and I give me my respect to that because we all worked really hard for that
Yes.
moment. And then the judges have a really hard time to pick the perfect girl. And but I guess I was a little bit more fuller. That was the feedback from the judges, to ask me, like, I get a little more fuller in your glutes. Like always my
Mm-hmm.
glutes, like I for some reason other time when I do shows, my glutes get really lean really fast. It's because of my cardio. I always do sprints. I like to
Mm-hmm.
sprint. I always, this is my cardio. I sprint. And my glutes always get really, really lean. And then the feedback from the judges was like, get a little more fuller in your glutes. Get fuller. Like, and then I feel like when I came back from Europe, I feel like all the whatever water or whatever it was, it got
Yeah.
to my glutes and my glutes was looking a little more
Thank
fuller.
goodness.
Yeah, and it was good because I got my pro card. And then
Yes.
I also compare pictures with that shows and my other show. And yes, my body was a little bit not too hard because I always get really lean and really hard.
Mm-hmm.
And then that for that show I was super lean but a little bit soft. So
Yes.
and it was just perfect.
I love that. That is so
Yeah.
awesome. And I mean, before that show, you had won, I mean, your very first national show was the Olympia Amateur, and you won first place there. I mean, that
Yes.
must have felt surreal.
Yeah, that was for going to Olympia. That everybody wanna go to Olympia and at least be a first call out because it's one of the most amazing shows.
Mm-hmm.
And then going over there was my first national show and I got first place and I was like, oh my gosh, I still can't believe it. And I mean it's amazing. Every show that I do, like we always get disappointed. Of course, we work so hard for bring our
Mm-hmm.
best to the stage, and when we don't place because it's a lot of competition, of course,
Yeah.
and so we get a little bit disappointed. But in the meantime, after the show, I always say, "Well, I did it. I enjoy it. I met a lot of
Yes.
people, and then I was looking great. So what I'm gonna do for next show, improve." So that I always do that.
Exactly.
Always
I
do that.
love that mindset. I was journaling this morning about like where I'm at and getting closer to a show, and I was like, I've already satisfied my internal desire and drive, right? Like I've already proven to myself I've beat my last best self. I've made improvements that they asked me to make. Like at the end of the day, I know I'm going to leave my show feeling very proud and
Yes,
happy.
of course.
And it's like that external reward and validation, like a trophy,
Yes,
or
yes,
a national qualification, a pro card, maybe it's a qualification for the Olympia or whatever it might be. It's like a cherry on top of, it's a cherry on top. But at the end of the day, like if you're not proud when you leave, then that's probably more pressing to focus on.
yes, yeah. I feel like like can I say like you like we should be so proud, just to put that bikini on and walk that stage because we're showing what we have been doing to make our improvements. Like you say, you are doing the whatever the judges feedbacks what
Yeah.
you focus on that area to get like improve, and then you feel like you do it, you improve in those areas. So here I come again. You told me to do this, and I'm here. I'm ready to show you.
Yes,
So yeah, you
exactly.
always have to be happy and proud.
And
Always.
now that you're an IFBB pro, what are you hoping to accomplish?
That after being being a IFBB pro, everybody dream is going to or either Arnold Classic or either Olympia.
Uh-huh.
So for me, going to Olympia or Arnold Classic, that is one of my biggest dream, and I will going. You hear this day and this time, I'm
Oh,
going to
yes.
Olympia. I go.
Yes, I love
Yes,
it. Declare it.
yes.
It's done. I think that's awesome. And I can't wait to see
2000
you
and
do that.
2021 is gonna be my comeback.
Heck yeah, it is.
Yeah,
Oh, are you already like would you say you're already focused on bringing that comeback now?
yeah. I'm really focused right now. Like actually, I'm doing like an off-season prep with coach right now. Coach told me that I don't need an off-season prep. Like he say, so I'm looking good. Like I'm not. I don't have much fat in my body.
Right.
I'm looking good. I'm building my muscle, but I'm trying to not going crazy right now because like I spent only like 6-7 months post surgery, and I don't want to push. When you're doing a show, that's me. When I'm doing a show, I give it 100%. So and then
Mm-hmm.
I feel like right now, like I'm a mentally strong, and then I know I can do it. Uh, I don't know if my body is ready for that right now. So
Right.
we are doing and like right now try to get a little bit of more muscle, like maybe most of my shoulder because my legs and my glutes are very. I never have a problem with it. It's just most my shoulder right now. It's like I need to build more muscle, but
Mm-hmm.
otherwise I feel like we're doing the right thing. And then so I just like I say I like to listen whatever coach say because he's the one who knows better. So yeah.
Exactly. I think that's the best way to go about it is like, it'll happen, your time will come and just trusting your coach right now and doing what's necessary. So by the
Yeah.
time, it is go time, you're ready.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about your journey to citizenship and
Yes.
coming to the USA because we haven't had a lot of people on here who talk about that, or I don't know if we've had anyone. So could you break down what inspired you to come from El Salvador and why California? What was your path like?
Okay, so growing in my country as a child, I grew in a farm, right?
Mm-hmm.
My mom was a single mom with I have we're 5 siblings for total. So I have 2 sisters and 2 brothers. I'm the youngest one. And for me, seeing my mom working so hard for 5 kids, for me it was like I'm not gonna do that. I need a better life, and I want to help my mom.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, I think the first one who came here was my sister, my oldest sister, actually my middle sister, because there is another older sister.
Wow.
She came here, and then she started, making money, sending money to my mother. And then I say, I wanna go. I wanna go too. I wanna have a better life.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, I have my kids in El Salvador,
Oh,
and then
really?
seeing, I just don't wanna do the same thing. The people say your parents are your biggest example, and
Mm.
so you see your parents, and then or either you like what your parents do, or either you don't like, or either you don't have any other choices, but you don't wanna do the same stuff. Even if your parent is successful, having a great job and a college education, of course you can follow that, right? But when your parents are growing poor, and then you say, for me, I always been very competitor, and I always like, like I don't like to give up. I like to keep going. I like to set goals. And then one day I say, I don't want to be like my mom. I
Mm.
not just because my mom is the hardest person. That my mom is my rock. My mom is my hero. But she worked so hard. She worked so hard for us, for my siblings and I. And in El Salvador, there is no future because there is no, the economy is not good. You know, you have to, even when people get a college education, there is not much jobs. So for me, coming to this country was like not just for me, it was just for my family.
Wow.
And that's why I decided to come to the United States.
Wow. And
Yeah.
when you came, did you come on like a work visa? Did you, like, how did the actual citizenship process
I
go?
actually come illegal.
Really?
I actually crossed the desert. I
Oh
don't know if
my
I'm allowed to say
gosh.
this here.
Oh,
But
well, I don't know
yeah,
any. Well,
yeah.
you're
So
legal now, so.
sometimes I think that is the most like more like crazy thing that I've done in my
Yeah.
life because coming as being a girl, coming crossing. There is three borders that I have to cross to come to get to the United States. Um, so coming to the United States for me, the way I did, it was one of the most crazy thing that I have ever done, and I don't regret. It take me. I came here in 2007.
Mhm.
It took me 29 days to get to the United States,
Wow. So what
and
was that like?
that was crazy, crazy, but like memorable. I there was days that there was no food, no water. I
Mm.
had to just hang it in there and wait for the next day and for the next day and for the next day. But there is, everywhere there is a lot of good people. You meet a lot of good people and like they're willing to help. But there is a lot of bad people that are not willing to help. And then I met both good and bad people. And then, but like I say, I always believe in God, and I know what God had for you. And then if you believe and you pray, and then you say, I can do this, but I'm not gonna do it alone. I'm gonna do it because of you, God. You're gonna guide me. You're gonna help me. And then I did. I feel like yeah, that was like really bad moments. The most crazy moment was like when I can live without food, but water is crazy. Like having no water is you feel like you're gonna die. But
Wow.
or also coming, crossing the desert, coming in and walking in the daytime is super hot, and walking in the nighttime is super cold. So
Mm.
either way was fun. But 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 I did. I'm here.
Oh my gosh. So,
And yeah, and then I became an American citizen in 2018.
wow.
Yeah, and yeah, but I became a resident I think in 2015. Yes,
Wow.
yeah.
That's crazy. So
So,
I'm really curious to hear more about those like 29 days. I mean,
I'm writing a book. You're gonna be able to buy my book.
okay,
It's
that will
called
be
29 Days.
Oh my gosh. Well, that'll be awesome. Oh, you'll have
Yeah,
to let me know when you publish
yes.
it.
Yes, I'm working so hard. I have so much things are going on right now that
I'm
I'm
sure.
so happy, anxious, anxiety, and stress and everything. You have no idea.
Oh,
But yeah, but
girl.
all good.
Mhm. I know.
Yes.
I wrote a book and it went really quickly, but there was that added stress and I self-published, so it was a little easier than if you go through like a publishing company. There's a lot more hoops to jump through, but at the same time, you're managing a lot of projects, and something else that we talked about was you're opening up a gym.
Yes.
So,
Okay. That was like that was supposed to be open in November, but with all
oh,
this stuff it's happened right now, everything is stopped. Like
yeah.
I have no day. I stopped working because it's nothing that I can do. The stuff that I was doing is everything started, especially where I live. I live in Orange County in San Juan Capistrano. There
Oh
is no
yeah.
gym. At least some places have gyms open. We don't have any gyms open in here.
Same.
Nothing. So and so if there is nothing. I already went to the district and see what I can do. If I can, at least do one-to-one section and stuff like that, but they to open a gym is very difficult. It's not gonna happen right now.
Wow. So
Yeah.
what inspired you to open a gym, and where are you planning on opening it?
So my gym is gonna be here in San Juan Capistrano, it's Orange County. It's like a 5 minutes where my house is, which is
Awesome.
amazing. I can run from here to there.
Yes.
and so it's so what inspired me to do a gym is like, I always like to be a business owner.
Yeah.
I always like to work for myself, and having, like I have a designer company, and I also right now I'm working in sport clothing. It's not just bikinis, it's sport clothing. But in the meantime, finish college, and I have all this stuff. If you think about like bikinis for competitor, sport clothing and nutrition, and the stuff that I do is all related.
Yeah.
And then I say one day, I have an idea. I think I'm gonna open a gym. And in the gym, for me, my idea is to be a nutritionist. I don't
Mm-hmm.
really want to be a trainer because I train people. I've been trainer before, but I like more the idea to be a nutritionist, open my gym and rent the gym to a trainer to bring people to train, and then also have my clothing line and my bikinis at the same time and the same business all
Yeah.
together. So this is gonna be my gym. So it's gonna be. I hope by January, February, something like that, I can open it. I have the place and everything.
That's awesome.
So
Well, I'll come work out
yeah,
there just for fun
yes,
and
yes. I
check it
know.
out.
I gotta invite everybody. Say,
Yes,
hey,
grand
friends,
opening.
come over
Oh,
to the grand opening.
that'll be awesome. No, that's
Yes,
exciting. And I love how you said you've really always had that entrepreneurial spirit, always wanting to work for yourself, and you've followed your passions, from nutrition, suit design, now the gym. I mean, it's going to be really cool, this sport clothing as well. So, how would you say bodybuilding has helped you as a business owner and as a mother as well?
I feel like it's for me. I like to be a good example. Like I say, my mom was a good example for me. But I say I love my mom, and I love what she did for us. But I didn't like the work she have. So how hard she have to work for little money. And then for me, I always say I want to have my own business. I wanna have something that I can say to people, you have to do this, not they told me what to do. And
Mm,
I always say, and I want to be a good boss. I want to treat my people like really good, because I don't like, because I've been working now. I used to be a waitress, and then I just don't like how some people can treat you. And then for that reason, I always say I will never treat people bad, because we are human beings, and we deserve to be treating good.
mhm.
Everybody deserves that. And then I feel like for me, to become a business owner is always been a big part of my life. I feel like I'm not afraid to do new stuff, because if you're afraid to do new stuff, you will never win, because you will never try. You will never. And to
Exactly.
be able to succeed and to be able to win something, you have to risk.
Mhm.
But if you don't risk, you don't win. So
That's true.
yeah,
It's much better to take that leap of faith and take
yeah.
the risk, and a lot of people don't want to take that risk, and that's okay too, but when
Is
you
that
do,
okay? It's okay. If some people,
yes.
yeah.
But when you want it, you have to be willing to do what's necessary.
Yes, and of course, like being a business owner is not easy. I have, I've been, let me see, 1, 2, 3 business that I had. I had a cleaning company long ago, like
Wow.
house cleaning business
Mhm.
company, and then being a business owner sometimes is very stressful. It's
Yeah.
not. It's not because you say, "Hey, I'm the business owner, I'm fine, I have an amazing life." It's not.
No,
You
that's
work so
true.
hard. People work so hard. Business owner, we work so hard. It's not easy.
Yeah,
But
that's for sure.
yeah,
It's rewarding,
it's
but it's
rewarding.
definitely, and it's like nice to know that you're the one calling the shots, but I think it's easily overlooked. Like, oh, when someone says they own a business, you think, well, they just must have this glamorous life, when really it's like, I'm I'm up late prepping podcasts, reaching out to people,
Yeah,
staying on top of client work, staying educated. There's a lot that goes into it, and
exactly.
yet I would rather do that than work for someone else.
Right? Yeah, no, that's me.
Let me work for my clients
Yeah.
and nobody else.
Yes, yes. Okay, see, you like me.
Yes, we both have that entrepreneurial
Yeah,
spirit.
yeah, I like
Me
it.
too. Yeah, I know it's been awesome talking to you, because just you bring a lot of perspective, and I feel like it's just so easy to talk to you. And I just have a quick question before I ask you about your advice, but how did you learn to speak English?
Okay. Well, first of all, coming to this country, you have to speak the language because you're in America.
Yeah.
And so for me, coming to this country and not be able to communicate with people, it was honestly, it was really depressing. It was really, really, I was like lacking
Mm.
in my room, and I was like crying because I wasn't able to understand what people were saying. But then, and have the way how I learned the language was like, I, by that long time ago, I didn't really have time to go to college because I was working, like, I have two jobs. I
Mhm.
was working so much, but what I was doing, and I always told people, hey, sometimes you not, if you don't have time, you don't need to go to school because of course you don't have time. But watch videos, watch YouTube videos, like put your cell phone in music in English, watch TV in English. So everything, hang out with people who speak English. And every single day, so when I came to the United States, my phone was in English. I wasn't understand what I was looking at, but it was in English. Have no other
Wow.
other option. And then like watching YouTube videos, like how to have a conversation, like how to say hi, how are you, what does that mean, like all that stuff. So I learned that way. But then I want to
Wow.
have a college education. I want to keep going. I want to learn how to read, speak, and everything. And so I decided to take like classes. Like that wasn't I wasn't even in a college. It's called like a ESL classes, English as a second
Yeah,
language. It
yeah.
wasn't like a for adults school, not just college. It was like some kind of like a, I don't
Right.
know. And so I started going over there at least 2 times in a week, 2 days in a week. and
Wow.
and, and I really like it. And I for some reason English for me was kind of like I understand what they're saying, but I don't know how to speak. But I really understand. And then so I keep practicing and practicing, and within 3 months I was able to communicate with people.
Wow.
And I really like language. I really like it, and now I speak English. And then English is like it's a one language that you keep learning. Like you sometimes hear words that I never heard before, and I say, "What is that? Can you say me with a different way because I don't understand what you're saying?" And they say it with a different way that I have heard before, and okay, I know what you're saying. So
Mm,
it's like never stop learn. Like English
yeah.
is like so big. But that was the way that I learned. Like I listen, speaking, and hang out with people who spoke the language.
Wow. That is
So
amazing.
yeah,
Good for
and then
you. I mean,
yeah,
honestly, you speak it so well.
thank you. I'm like my accent is still there, and then I don't care. I love it.
Oh no, your accent's awesome.
A lot of people like, where's the accent from? Yes, yeah. Like, a lot of people ask me like, what is my accent? Of course, I'm Salvadorian. Yeah, I love my accent.
Oh, that's awesome. And how did you meet your boyfriend?
So my boyfriend, I used to work in a restaurant. I used to be a waitress in a restaurant, and it was in an, I think it was Mexican American restaurant.
Uh-huh.
And then yeah, I was like, actually, he asked me for a Pinot Noir, which is like a wine,
Yeah.
red wine. And then I didn't know what Pinot Noir was. And then I say, what does that mean? And then he say, do you speak English? And I say, poquito. I say a little. And then, so I met him that day. He asked for the Pinot Noir, and then he was laughing because I didn't know how to pronounce. And then he was laughing, and then he started coming every day. And then he always asked for me, and that way I met him.
Wow, that's
Restaurant.
awesome. I love
Yeah.
that. And you guys have
And
been
we
together
are,
for a while
yeah,
now.
yeah, 8 years together.
Oh my gosh, that is
Yeah.
so cool.
He been with me everywhere. He's my biggest, like my son and him,
Uh-huh.
they're my biggest support. Like when I do prep, like my son is the one, Mommy, do your
Mhm.
cardio. Mommy, do your cardio. Or my boyfriend, do you supposed to eat that? Oh yeah, that's in my plan. Oh, okay. That much? Yes. Oh, okay. She wanna make sure you're not eating too much. Okay. So they always like there for me. Like I really appreciate that from them. Like my
Oh.
son is like my second coach. I promise.
That is so cool. I
Yes.
love to hear that. No, I think it's awesome to have the support of our loved ones, and it's just a cool story you have. I can't wait till your book comes out. That'll be really awesome, and I
Yes.
hope you let us know when that happens. And
Oh yes, I will. I gotta
thank
put it in
you.
Instagram.
Oh, good. Yeah. Well, I'll definitely, when we get to the end, I'll make sure that we get that information. But I would love to just know now, one of my favorite things to do at the end of every episode is just ask your best advice for girls who have never competed before, and then your best advice for girls on their road to pro.
Well, my best advice for girls who are never compete before and they wanted to compete, first get a coach. Don't do it by yourself. Get a coach. Get someone that who know what they're doing, and then always listen. If they wanted to do a show, do it because you loved it, not because someone pushed you to do it, or not because you want to look great and stuff like that. Just do it because you love it. It's your passion, and if you wanted to do it, keep going. Don't stop. Don't give up.
Yeah.
Follow your dream. And for the pro girls that are about to compete, I think this weekend. So I'm so proud of them because I see like I almost follow all of them, and then they also some follow me or anyway, but I always see them, and then and believe it or not, when you see the stuff like that, and then especially right now that all the gyms are closed and you see the girls, hey, she's competing, she have all the muscles and stuff like that, she keep going. It's not about it's just because there's no gyms. You can do whatever. I mean, you have your body, you can move, you can do whatever you want, like exercise in your house, in the park, anywhere, and
Yes.
then keep your muscle and follow your diet, and then do your cardio and eat with a small spoon.
Yeah. So true. So true.
Don't get a big spoon because then you're gonna just swallow the food. I always do that. I always like eat with really small spoon.
I
That
know,
way I
me
can taste my
too.
food.
I'm like, this
Yeah.
is the
So,
way to
but and
go.
also good luck to you. I hope you win.
Oh, well, thank you
I
so
wish to be
much.
there. Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much. I really
Yeah.
appreciate that. And, we'll find out by the time this episode comes out too. My show will have come and gone, so it'll be awesome to listen back.
Yes, yes, it's
But
gonna be awesome. I wanna. Can I listen to?
oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
It's
I'll send it to you
amazing.
when it's live as well. And just want to say thank you so much for your time. And I hope everybody else gets to connect with you. So can you share with them maybe your Instagram and maybe a website or something?
Yeah. So my Instagram, I have Instagram. I don't really have any other social media. I'm kind of when you're really doing a lot of stuff.
Hmm.
A lot of stuff that coming on your way that sometimes you forget about social media, but social media is big because that's the way you can advertise your stuff. And so yeah, my Instagram is like K slash Roxy Roxy Sermeno, was his ROXYSERMENO, Roxy Sermeno. So that's my Instagram. And then I also have my sponsor over there, which is Ebogen. So if you guys go into my link over there and hit my link and order some stuff, you guys can get 50% off using the code that is over there in my Instagram as well, and get 50% off. And just follow me, and I would really appreciate that.
That's awesome. Well, I appreciate you sharing that with us, and I'll make sure to put all of that in the show notes page, which to everybody listening, that's always on celestial.fit/podcast. And there's a category section, so you can find Kim Sermeno, and there you'll see all the show notes, which includes full episode timestamps, meaning if there was some part of the episode that you really liked or wanted to hear, you'll be able to see exactly when we talked about it. So you can always revisit the episode or skip ahead, go back, whatever it is you want to do. And I appreciate the girls who put those notes together for me. And Kim, thank you so much again for coming on. It was such a pleasure talking with you.
Yes, same here. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course. And to everybody listening, I hope you all have an amazing rest of your day,